This includes plots against the nation, working with enemy countries, circulating harmful information, political dissidents, visiting foreign websites, watching foreign movies or TV shows, listening to foreign
watching
websites, watching foreign movies or TV shows, listening to foreign radio, inappropriate words, making international phone calls, watching adult material, and returning to North Korea after defecting. Many high-up North Korean officials.
So basically, you can't live your life. At that point, they might as well have one. If you're breathing, you're gonna get the death penalty. What?
This may shock you. 55 countries around the world still practice the death penalty, but they are dramatically different. From Japan's death row that drives inmates insane, to Saudi Arabia's death row that has a dark, evil twist. The first country we have to look at is the USA. The USA hands out many death sentences per year, but surprisingly, it's not.
I don't know about that one. I'm pretty sure most states. I'm not from America, so I don't know. But I'm pretty sure most states don't have the death penalty anymore, right? To all my Americans watching this video, can you guys confirm that with me?
Even in the top 10, around 20 people are sentenced to death row every year in the USA.
Wow.
In many states, death row is illegal, and some states practice it despite never actually outlawing it. But these 11 states do actively carry out death sentences.
So Utah, Texas, Oklahoma, Arizona.
Inmates will get these sentences for various crimes, most commonly homicide-related crimes, but also espionage, treason, as well as extreme cases of narcotics trafficking. USA death penalty methods vary state by state, but there are 5 methods used in the USA. These are lethal injection, electric chair, firing squad, gas chamber, and gas asphyxiation. But
oh my gosh, oh bad. Out of all of them, which one do you guys think is the worst? Let's say if you had to pick one, and let's say you were in that situation and you had to pick one, which one would you pick? I would just take injection. I'm sorry. I feel like it'll be faster, be quick. It just stops the heart.
USA. 24 hours before they will be taken from their cells and moved to what is cheerfully known as the death house. As they enter the death house, this will be the last time the inmate will ever be outside. They will then be given a full body search and given new clothing. They will then be taken to their new and last cell, known as the Death Watch cell. There, the inmate will spend their final night. Some inmates choose to sleep, but
bro, that's the worst. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. I'm trying to think. First of all, I was raised right. Thank God. Matter of fact, thank God. Actually, I'm sorry, but imagine, like, I can imagine what they're thinking about in that moment. Like, I wonder what's going on in their mind. I would not even be able to think.
Others can't, knowing what's coming. At the 15-hour mark, they will be woken up. They will then shower and be given a regular prison breakfast. At the 14-hour mark, they will be allowed to see their friends.
Wow, so it's cap. I thought they can request for a last meal, something to enjoy. I thought that was something real. Like, they can, request for steak, whatever, seafood, just for the last time before they go.
And family for one last time. They will also get 45 minutes to make any final phone calls. At the 12-hour mark, all visitations will be cut off. The inmate will then be given a regular prison lunch, and are then allowed to see a priest or imam. Inmates carry many regrets and secrets, and this gives them one last chance to confess and have a clear mind. At the 8-hour mark, the inmate will be allowed to see their last sunset. Wow. The inmate will then be allowed to write letters for 1 hour, writing their final goodbyes to friends and family. At the 6-hour mark, the inmate will order their last meal.
Why do all of this? Why? He must be. I wouldn't even be able to think. The fact that he's talking about write your last messages, call people for 40 minutes. I think that's pretty cool, though. Don't get me wrong. It's pretty dope. The fact that they're giving them this path and just let them still, talk to whoever they want to talk to, etc. It's still just crazy to me, man. It's crazy. It's just wild.
Despite what many think, they can't order whatever they want, instead having to stick to a $30 budget, which with today's prices isn't that much. If the inmates are being executed with an electric chair, they will then have their heads shaved. This is to prevent their hair catching on fire. The inmate will then take their last ever shower, and then eat their last meal. At the 3-hour mark, witnesses arrive. These are the people who are going to watch the execution happen. They're normally relatives of the victim.
Why? Why is that a thing? Why does the witnesses have to pull up? Like, the man's he's not gonna escape. Like, hello? How do you have the audacity to watch someone watch someone lose their life in front of you? That's wild. That's some next level creepy stuff. Me personally, I could never watch someone, just lose their life, or just die or something. Like, that's crazy to me.
At the 1 hour mark, the inmate will be walked to what's known as the death chamber, escorted by a team of 5 guards. The inmate will then be strapped to a chair or bed. At the 12-minute mark, the witnesses will be moved into the watching room.
Who are these witnesses? Like, do you just volunteer to watch someone just leave this world? How does that work? Or do they bring the guy's victims? Like,
the curtains will then be undrawn. The window is one way, meaning the inmate never sees the people watching him. At the 10-minute mark, the inmate gets to say their last words. The inmate will then get one final visit from a priest or imam if they wish, and after that, the execution will take place. There are currently 2,500 people on death row in the United States. It often takes decades for these executions to be carried out, because inmates are entitled to many appeals. But it wasn't always like this. The USA once executed a 14-year-old boy. George Steiny was accused of taking 2 girls' lives. He was too small to sit on the electric chair, so had to sit on top of a Bible. But since 2005,
nah, that's why.
you now need to be over 18 to be given a death sentence in the USA.
I know about that story. He was innocent, right? This was the little innocent kid that killed for no reason.
America's death row may sound harsh, but I can assure you it's nothing compared to Saudi Arabia.
He was accused.
Every year, Saudi Arabia ends many people's lives, with an average of over 185 executions every year. In Saudi Arabia, people get death sentences for minor crimes, including burglary, treason, espionage, and narcotics. But you can also be given a death sentence for leaving Islam, as well as cheating on your wife or husband, or having a same-gender relationship.
Whoa! What the fudge? So you're telling me that you can get a death penalty by just looking at another woman? Yo, that's crazy. So let's say if I got into a fight with my girl and she wants to snitch, talk about, oh, I cheated on her, just because she saw me in a moment talking to another girl from a distance, so it looks like I'm cheating, but I'm really not. Maybe that girl is just asking for direction of wherever she's trying to go, and then my woman sees that, and then she calls the cops, talk about, I cheated? Bro, I'm gonna get the death penalty? That is absurd. That's wild.
You can even be given a death sentence for witchcraft. Saudi Arabia has 3 execution methods.
Oh my gosh.
They're all wild. The first is firing squad. The second is stoning.
Yo!
Where someone is buried up to their head in sand. Stones are then thrown at them until they lose their life. And the most common method is beheading.
That's the worst.
This is done using
Beheaded?
a large curved sword. Afterwards, bodies are often put on public display to scare everyone else into not committing the same crime. Unlike in the USA, Saudi Arabia dish out executions very fast. But while they wait, they're normally kept in this prison, named Al Hayr Prison. Inmates are often kept in isolation cells and are subjected to physical and psychological hell. Inmates are often not allowed to contact their families. Executions normally happen within the same year someone is sentenced to death row. Another country with a surprisingly nasty death row is...
So far, Saudi Arabia think like they have it the worst. The fact that they can't even call their own family members just to say bye or anything. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I spoke too soon because I see Japan. Japan's coming up. Maybe I spoke too soon because I know I'm about to hear some wild stuff in Japan. Isn't Japan like a dictator country or something? Or I'm thinking about North Korea or South Korea. Which one is Kim Jong-un? It's North Korea, right?
Japan. Aside from the USA, Japan is the only democratic country that still has death row, with an average of 5 executions per year.
Okay.
There are only 3 crimes you can commit to get the death penalty: homicide, treason, and crimes against the state. Normally, you need to end multiple lives to be sentenced to death row. In most countries, inmates on death row are told when they're going to lose their lives far in advance, but not in Japan. Instead, inmates are only told 1 or 2 hours before the execution.
No way.
They have no idea when will be their last day on Earth. It could be years from now, or it could be in 2 hours. This sometimes makes inmates go insane. To make matters worse, the inmate's family is only told after they've been executed, meaning that they have no chance to say goodbye.
That's... No. They have no chance to say goodbye. I'm pretty sure he's about to say that. That's wild. They just do it to just do it? Yeah, I understand he committed certain crimes that, he wasn't supposed to break, but come on. At least let the man say bye to his family. Let the man hear his kids for the last time.
Bye. While the inmates are on death row, they're kept in very strict prisons, said to be the strictest in the world. They're told exactly how to sit in their cells. They have to always look down at the floor and can never look up.
Oh
They're
my
also not allowed to speak unless spoken to, and they have to work for over 13 hours per day. But a country with an even worse death row is China.
Oh my
China
gosh.
executes the most people per year, averaging at over 1,000 executions every year. In China, you can be given
What? Oh no. Oh no. I know for a fact. Let me guess. If you run through a red light, you're gonna get the death penalty in China? Yo, 1,000 a year? What are these people? What are they doing?
the death penalty for many crimes, including serious fraud, bombing, flooding, rioting, separatism, rebellion, political dissent, subversion, sneaking people into China, piracy, corruption, aircraft hijacking, espionage, abandoning the military, endangering national security, and many other crimes. In China, no matter how rich or powerful you are, you can be given a death sentence. In 2022, high-up politician Fu Zhuangha was sentenced to death row after taking nearly $17 million in bribes. And in 2014, billionaire businessman Liu Han was also given a death sentence, being executed 1 year later in 2015. These executions are carried out using either a firing squad or lethal injection. While inmates wait for their execution date, they will be in a Chinese prison, which are known for their very harsh conditions. Inmates sometimes have to work for 16 hours per day. They will also have their heads shaved and have to look down at the ground at all times. But a country with even worse death row conditions.
I'm surprised though China's first. That is wild. So anyways, we got 8 left. So let's see.
Is Somalia. Somalia is known as one of the most dangerous countries in the world.
Oh my gosh, it's corrupt over there.
That carries out public executions. These are done either by hanging, firing squad, or stoning. Somalia executes an average of 13 people per year. These sentences are given out for homicide, treason, espionage, and abandoning the military. But you can also get a death sentence for leaving Islam, blasphemy, cheating on your husband or wife.
Yeah. So basically, if you want to change your religion, you just gotta leave the country. First of all, how do they find out if you change your religion? I don't get that. Like, are you supposed to announce it to the world? Because me personally, I would never change my religion. I know that. But like, let's say if I were to, like, the only way I can change my religion, let's say if I was believing a different whatever, and I was converted to the current religion I'm in, like, are you gonna announce it to the world? Like how do they find out? I just don't get it. Does that make sense? What I just said, or I just confuse you guys? In my mind, it made sense, but when I said it, it didn't sound right. But, like, what?
And having a same-gender relationship. While inmates await their execution date, they will be kept in one of Somalia's worst jails, which are known to be very overcrowded and dirty. Death row inmates are normally...
Hey, at least Uganda's not bad. You know, sorry. I gotta mention something about, you know, if you're... Let's say you're a guy and guy, you guys like each other, etc. But you know what they do in Uganda? They put you guys in the same jail cell, you and your partner. You know, let's say if you're gay, 2 gay guys, they put them in a jail cell. And then the president once actually put 2 guys in prison in the same jail cell. And he said, if one of you guys can get pregnant, I'll set you guys free. But guess what? They're not gonna, you know, none of them can get pregnant, let's be honest. But they stayed in jail for the rest of their life, though.
And to Mandera prison, said to be Somalia's worst prison. But some would say death row in Belarus is even worse. Belarus is the only country in Europe to still use capital punishment. You can be sent to death row for crimes such as treason, sabotage, and conspiracy to seize power. This is because Belarus is Europe's last dictatorship. While inmates wait for their execution, they will be sent to Belarus's worst prison, which is famous for housing political prisoners. Belarus executes an average of 2 people per year, but a country known for
2 people?
far more
That's
people
not bad.
is Indonesia. In
It's so sad though.
2005, Indonesia hit the headlines. This was after 9 Australians were arrested. They were attempting to smuggle narcotics. 6 of them were sentenced to life in prison, but 2 were sent to death row, and in 2015 were executed by firing squad. This caused massive outrage, but many executions still take place in Indonesia, normally for narcotics and piracy. Another country with a surprisingly harsh death row is India. In India, you can be sent to death row for homicide, narcotics, aircraft hijacking, espionage, kidnapping, abandoning the military, and even partaking in human sacrifice. In 2023, India gave out 120 death sentences. These are always done by either hanging or firing squad. Death row inmates are kept in awful prisons. Indian prisons are famous for overcrowding, having over 25 million backlogged cases.
I was about to say, isn't India the most populated country in the world? I was about to say, like, I'm not surprised in jail if they're populated as well. I wouldn't be surprised at all, but...
The cells are very crowded, dark and dirty, and inmates are only told their execution date a few days before it happens. But one country you won't be surprised has a terrible death row is North Korea.
Oh,
in North Korea,
my gosh, hold up. Let me get ready for this one. This is the crazy dictator Kim Jong-un. I'm so happy I'm not in this country, because I know for a fact if I'd have just said that, they would have came for me. Straight up.
Just about anything can land you on death row. This includes plots against the nation, working with enemy countries, circulating harmful information, political dissidents, visiting foreign websites, watching foreign movies or TV shows, listening to foreign websites, watching foreign movies or TV shows, listening to foreign radio, inappropriate words, making international phone calls, watching adult material, and returning to North Korea after defecting. Many high-up North Korean officials.
So basically, you can't live your life. At that point, they might as well have one. If you're breathing, you're gonna get the death penalty. What? You're telling me you can't watch any TV series outside of your own country, or listen to any radio station outside of your own country, or search up certain things on the internet? Bro, what? That is wild. I knew it was gonna be bad, but I didn't know it was going to be this bad, to the point where if you breathe, we might as well say that at this point, to the point where you breathe, they're going to straight up just remove you. Let me guess, if you have a big ass too, they're going to remove you as well? You know, hey, rest in peace on my BBCs out there. Sorry, not BBCs. Bro, what? I'm tripping. I meant to say BBL. Let me guess. Watch him say that.
Officials have been given a death sentence, including Kim Jong-un's own uncle. The methods used are firing squad, hanging, beheading, and even being shot with a missile. Some of these executions are done in public.
You're lying! A rocket? A rocket for what? To just... What?
2022, a 22-year-old man was publicly executed for listening to K-pop. While North Korean inmates are on death row, they are sent to a labor camp. This is where they have to do back-breaking work for sometimes 20 hours per day. Many lose their lives in these camps, but if they survive, they will later be executed by the guards. And to make matters worse, their entire family will be sent to the camps as well. This is to ensure no one ever tries to take power from Kim Jong-un. North Korea executes an average of 150 people per year.
Let me guess, the guy who got this footage lost his life, right? Because I'm pretty sure you can't even record over there. Based off what they're talking about, it seems like you can't live your life. So I know for a fact, this guy, I don't know how he was able to get this clips, but the guy who recorded this definitely lost their life.
Another country famous for its death row is Egypt. Egypt executes an average of 30 people per year. This is done by either firing squad or hanging. While they wait for their last day, people on death row in Egypt are sent to...
What's with all of them with their hanging? Why do they love that so much? That's the worst way to go. Hanging?
Very bad prisons.
It's slow,
overcrowding,
and you feel the pain.
And harsh conditions. Another country with a famously bad death row is the United Arab Emirates. This surprises many people as it's a popular tourist destination.
Wow.
But beyond the glitz and glamour of Dubai are some truly awful prisons. This is where death row inmates are kept. You can be given a death sentence for various crimes, including the disposal of nuclear waste and leaving Islam. Executions are carried out by firing squad. Which of these death rows do you think was the worst? Let me know in the comments down below.
Facts, yo. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the video. We're gonna close it off there because I feel like if I keep reacting to this, some CIA members from a different country are gonna come for me and try to, you know, public execute me as well. But that is wild. What do you guys think about this? And feel free to like this video and subscribe. I'll really appreciate it. It helps the channel to grow a lot.